Draymond Green stayed on one particular team
Yeah.
for a long time, that makes him a better player?
I think there's an argument for Draymond being better than Kenyon. Yeah, there's a it matters.
It ain't no argument. Kenyon is not better than Draymond.
I'm with you.
He didn't get replaced.
No, Kenyon Martin is not better than Draymond. So Kenyon doing all of this is funny because he himself is not better than Draymond.
Real talk.
But I don't think he listed himself when he went through the names. To be fair.
Well, he thinks he's better than
doing all of this.
Yeah.
And if he listed all of those bigs, and he listed all of those power forwards, Ox, guess what? They all better than him too. How about that?
Okay, they're all better than us, but we rank players like, huh?
Yes, we do, 100%.
So what's that mean?
I mean, I don't think every player that's played in the NBA better than me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I will say this: as somebody who loved Kenyon. I'm talking about I love Kenyon. When Kenyon got drafted out of Cincinnati and he went to the Nets, love Kenyon. When Kenyon got traded to the Denver Nuggets, love Kenyon. The Denver Nuggets, that was one of my best eras of Denver basketball ever of all time. Kenyon Martin and Chris Birdman Anderson and JR and Iverson. Yeah, that's cool. I don't care. That's what their name was. In Park Hill, that's what we called them, and that's what they were. They were the Denver Nuggets. I'm going to keep giving them that name. I thought they were great. But Kenyon ain't Draymond. Like he just isn't. Like he just is not Draymond Green. I do think, real talk, there's something to. I don't think, even if you put Paul Millsap there, I think they probably get worse just because there's things that Draymond does that a lot of these players simply cannot do. And I think if they didn't have one of the greatest defensive anchors of this generation and ever, they're not at the same team. Like in his point, extremely high basketball IQ on both offense and defense. And again, if Steph Curry shows up in Game 7, real talk, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 championships. Because Dre had 35 points in that game and 5 threes. Like, he showed up in a lot of big spots.
Know, but the argument for better player shouldn't always come down to, well, do they make this Warriors team better? Like, that's not the question. Yes, we get it. Draymond worked fantastic with Steph Curry. Absolutely. Nobody can take that away from him. But when are we going to also be honest about Dre's limitations offensively and how that would translate and transport to their 29 other teams? We can't keep acting like him playing with Steph Curry, one of the 3 most impactful offensive players ever, doesn't account for something. I get it. He also made up for defensively, and his defensive impact was felt. No doubt about that. But what I'm saying is when we talk about all of these, Draymond and the dumbest propaganda that is passed around about Draymond Green is that he's this fantastic playmaker. Playmaking is creating the advantage. He is great at advantage extension or advantage finishing. As far as, Steph Curry has created the
Where's Jordan at when you need him for all these new terms?
No. Shut up, Swipe. Steph Curry has created the advantage because Steph Curry is the one being doubled.
Yep.
Steph Curry then finds Draymond Green in a short roll. Draymond Green being a good decision maker in short roll does not make him a playmaker.
Real talk. Are you suggesting that all?
I think this is nasty.
But he's a good decision maker, though.
Because are you?
But he's a good decision maker, though.
He's a willing passer. He's not. I keep trying. I've been trying to explain that to you.
But he's a good passer. He's a really good passer.
He is not. He's not. He absolutely is a good passer, Mars. He's absolutely a good passer. But I've been trying to tell y'all this for years. Draymond Green is a willing passer and a great defender. And I can't knock him for that. But all this shit, y'all, this is just him.
Explain that willing
simple
passer,
bounce.
please.
A willing passer, somebody that wants to pass the ball. Somebody
so why is that a bad thing?
Why
is that a bad thing?
Why are you saying I said it's a bad thing?
The reason why, because you.
I didn't say it's a bad thing. I said he's not Jason Kidd. He's not passing players open. Look, chill.
Yes, he is.
Listen for a second. If I got Andrew Wiggins setting down screens for Steph Curry on this side of the court, and I got Klay Thompson standing in this other corner, if you can't make the right decision, which is give the ball to the best shooter you've ever seen right here, or a bounce pass to Andrew Wiggins because his man had to help over here, then you shouldn't be on the basketball court.
That just sounds so elementary, and that's not what's
It
going
is
on with
elementary.
Warriors. That's not what's going on with them.
It's elementary, but a lot of people can't do it.
No,
And hold on,
elementary
wait,
is
wait,
good.
wait,
Elementary is good. I think he's. I
but
think
it's
Draymond
not
is great.
It's not just that a lot of people can't do it. At the center position,
If you can't
that is
do
the
that,
ultimate.
Ron, if you can't do that, you shouldn't play.
Right quick. Okay, I get that. What I'm saying though is a lot of centers cannot do that. The ability
Yes,
to be
they
able to
can.
slide Draymond to the 5 position, and as a small ball 5, I give you flexibility, I give you versatility, I give you speed, I give you power, and I can get downhill and make those plays. It's a lot of. Hold on, right quick. Just let me finish making my point. It's a lot of big men that you are right. They can make that play, but they don't provide everything else that Draymond provides as being a 6'7", but being a 6'7" big man that can move with that type of speed, can get downhill, can also go and finish. Like Draymond being able to do that at 6'7" at the center position is the ultimate value that you can get from
Ron, I agree. I'm not up here trying to say Draymond is a bad basketball player. I'm not trying to say he's a bum. None of that. I'm not saying that. Honestly, Ron, I think you're the only one up here that actually knows I'm actually a fan of Draymond Green. I just don't like that nigga. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, right? You know, I respect what Draymond does on that basketball court. You know what I'm saying? Draymond Green, it's not the offense. It is the defense. He is an amazing defender. You know what I'm saying? I have nothing negative to say about Draymond Green, but I just want y'all to understand, like, this stuff on the offensive end, it's not spectacular.
Yes,
it's not special. It's not. It's not.
It's not
extraordinary. I know, Ron. I think
it's just value that's added, though. It's just more icing on the cake.
You know how much better the Warriors would be with Boris Diaw?
Then why weren't they?
They'd be much worse, by the way.
Yes, not only would they be much worse, but I'm sitting up here listening to you dudes, and Ox is basically running a 10th grade offense.
Shout out to Boris Diaw.
All you're gonna do is you're gonna screen for Steph Curry. Steph Curry, like, it's not like the defense doesn't know this.
It's that simple, Roger. It's that simple.
You're gonna screen for Steph Curry. Steph Curry's gonna come up the screen, and I'm just gonna pass you the basketball.
Yes,
that's it.
exactly.
I'm not actually reading the defense when Andrew Wiggins slips. I'm not actually reading the defense when Klay
Yes, you do have to read that.
I'm not actually reading the defense when they double, and I get downhill and go to the basket, and I collapse the defense. I'm not reading the defense.
Dude, that's so basic. That is so basic.
That is
so basic.
And the reason why it's not basic, is because when the action is going and now the defense is on their heels, now you have to attest for a whole bunch of other things. Real talk and Ox.
Like what?
No, I'm not saying. I am not saying. Let me be perfectly clear. I am not saying that Draymond's decision making in the 4-on-3 isn't valuable or isn't good. But
it's elite.
Fine. What I said is he is not a playmaker. Playmaking, the definition of that, in my opinion, I thought we all agreed upon this. Playmaking is advantage creating. Draymond Green on offense does not inherently create advantages.
Is screen setting a part of playmaking?
Yes, it is.
Stop.
I'm asking a question.
No, we're not. Stop. Wait. Stop. We're not about to say that screening is playmaking. Like, no.
Why? But no, real talk. I'm not. No, real talk.
Let me finish that sentence.
I'm here for Steve Adams propaganda whenever it is.
Because we're not finna do this when clearly the advantage is created by Steph Curry.
No, but I don't think that's fair. Real talk. I'm not trying to real talk. I'm not trying to yell or argue. I'm trying to just ask.
If you weren't cutting me off.
No, but real talk. But you have to give people a breath to ask you a question based on the statement. I'm saying in this moment, why would screen setting, which is advantage creation in its own right, not be considered a part of playmaking when Draymond was a very good screener and very good passer out of that DHO action you're talking about with Steph? Remember, the initial pass would not always go to Steph. It would be off the split action of them overloading on Steph, weak side or strong side. So I'm saying, real talk, why for you, why, no, hold on, chill. Why for you, real talk, is screen setting not a part of playmaking in this instance?
Screen setting. For real?
Screen set. Cool. Okay, you know what? He gets a cherry.
Y'all being
for-
serious?
We had a very high level basketball discussion before somebody got on this show today. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hit the bench, Ox.
Even in your explanation, you said that What is the advantage created?
You
Oh,
shitting
because
me?
Steph Curry is either on the strong side or on the weak side, and the defense is paying attention to Steph Curry.
Or Kevin Durant, or
Are you
Klay
shitting
Thompson.
The advantage creators on that team were undoubtedly Steph Curry, Kevin Durant when he was over there, and Klay Thompson. Those were the advantage creators.
No, those are the bucket
Sean Livingston didn't do any
Draymond
advantage
Green
creation.
did a fantastic
That's not true, bro.
job
They were the bucket getters.
capitalizing on
pretty
the
sure they all did.
advantages that they created.
Those
But
are the
he's
bucket
not
getters.
an advantage.
But-
Can only one
real-
person
real
on any
talk,
given
though.
possession create an advantage?
I agree. I mean, it's not just
Is an
individual
advantage only
players. Like
created by one, like every time there's an advantage, is there only one person that's created that? Every
No,
time?
sometimes yeah, but sometimes no. No, I think you're right on that, Mark.
I
think
just
multiple
think we
people.
can acknowledge that Draymond is
When you're
part of it.
playing
That's
with
all I'm
Steph
saying.
Curry,
100%.
No, but
so real talk. Real talk. So
I'm just
so
saying
DeAndre Jordan.
Draymond contributes. That's all I'm saying.
So DeAndre
Obviously
Jordan
he
doesn't get
does.
no
Absolutely.
credit. Does Tyson Chandler get no
yes,
credit?
that's
for playing
advantage
with Chris Paul?
creation. They're vertical spacers. That's always advantage creation.
No.
The defense-
Here's. Oh, but you're right. You're right, though, Swiper. But I don't even want to take it there. I don't want to talk about vertical creation. I just want to talk about you are able to capitalize on the advantage that Chris Paul created. So what you're trying to tell me is DeAndre Jordan doesn't get no credit. I know he's scoring the basket and all of that, and I know he's 7 foot and he's able to jump.
they're not
But
getting
this is what I'm saying.
But
He's
why is that not advantage
capitalizing-
creation
He's
if-
capitalizing
Yeah.
on the advantage.
The advantage
It's
wasn't
Chris.
created by
No,
you.
hold on. Time out. Ron, and then maybe this to your point. Real talk. I do think we're having a much more nuanced convo. I think you're giving it credit for right now. And the reason I'm saying that is I think you're very intelligent as you were sweeping through the competition, as you swept through Chill's team. We'll talk about here in a little bit. Real talk. Advantage creation is how you leverage your skill set to either help you directly as an offensive player or help your teammates as an offensive player. I think we can.
fighting that.
I think we can admit.
I'm still laughing at the screen saying thing, chill. I don't even know.
Okay,
what to say.
cool.
I'm sorry.
Back to basketball. I think some of
I
this,
didn't say
Ox,
that, so I
but
bet you
Ox,
asked
I think you would even appreciate this if you think through it just a second.
I'm listening to my
DeAndre
bad.
Jordan, the reason why Chris Paul and them were getting guarded the way they were, especially in drop, real talk, is because when you have a big that is that explosive and that good around the rim, the very threat of him being a rim runner creates advantages for Chris Paul to get into the mid-range, the snake, to navigate. It gives him more space inherently in a pick-and-roll format. It's the same thing when you have Ryan Anderson. Remember Ryan Anderson, real talk, the most overrated contract of all time? You run pick and pop of Ryan. Look,
Shout out Ryan Anderson.
Like, I mean, the pick and roll is going to be
somebody.
defended differently when Ryan sets the 4-5 screen or the 4-1 screen because now you have an elite 3-point shooter that's rolling and picking off of that, or Marvin Williams with Charlotte. I think what I'm saying is, real talk. Every player has degrees of advantage creation. I think Draymond does as well, but there obviously are levels to this. Steph Curry might be one ever, so that matters a lot. Real talk. But I think you can admit that Draymond contributed to that, like in his own way. Real talk. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Let me again. I am not taking away from Draymond Green's ability to make great decisions in the advantage created by Steph Curry. But in your scenario, we also have to take into account who has the ball in these ball screens. And would that person be getting blitzed regardless of who's setting the screen as the 4 or 5 anyway? And Steph Curry was getting blitzed. He would get blitzed in pick and roll regardless of if it's Draymond setting the screen or Andrew Bogut or no, like because it's Steph Curry creating the advantage. When Draymond came out there, when they were running those ball screens with Steph Curry and Draymond, we practically already knew how it would go. Okay, Draymond sets the screen. Curry comes off of it. They double high against Steph Curry. Curry hits Draymond in the short roll. Cool.
But remember they would switch that at times because they defended to pick and roll with Draymond differently than they did with Andrew Bogut.
Which is now how with Draymond when he has the basketball because what we're
right, but the advantage has been created for Draymond.
Keep going.
In the 4-on-3. So now Draymond is
he still has to make an additional decision.
He's either finna hit a corner shooter or hit somebody, dive into the basket for a lob, or potentially finish for himself.
But real talk, that's not an easy role. That's a lot of bigs don't do that. No. Real talk. I'm not saying you're saying it's easy. But the fact that Draymond was so good at it is why the offense was so elite.
All I'm saying.
100%. No, Swiper 100%. 100%.
All he's saying is Draymond ain't making that.
That's
Right.
all I'm
I
saying.
think that's all real talk is saying. Real talk. You know what's going on here? Once again, no knock to Draymond. But Draymond Green has been playing the 3-on-2, 2-on-1 drill his whole career.
Hey, Ox, but I know some niggas that are trashing that drill. Hey,
Garbage,
do you know? Chill. Do you know how many times, including this guy right here?
We gotta go now.
Because
we gotta run.
We gotta run suicides. We gotta run suicides because this fool.
Are you sitting me?
Missing layups.
Missing layups. Bro, don't play with me, bro.
I'm saying you've had to be on the. I'm saying you've had to be on the baseline with me because other people weren't good. I'm not saying it was you.
Okay.
Relax.
Now there was the one time I tried to throw the behind the back pass and fucked up, and we had to run for that. But other than that, though, stop it. But I'm just saying, shout out to Draymond. I'll shout out to Draymond. I don't got nothing negative to say about Draymond. I just want y'all to stop acting like he's better than Kenyon Martin. That's all.
I think that he did more.
I think he's better than Kenyon Martin.
And I don't. You know what? No problem.
Good super chat. Good super chat.
We completely leaving out.
Great
Swiper.
super chat.
Swiper, you made a bunch of points, and I think the one point that you left out is that Golden State offense got changed, and it got changed not just because Steph Curry and Klay Thompson can shoot the basketball. It got changed because Draymond's skill set, his ability to read defenses, his ability to pass, his ability to play out of the DHO, his ability to get downhill and collapse defenses and get the big man involved in the game. Why? Because the defense is so spread out. His ability to do that. They're not changing that offense, and they're not giving the ball to Draymond and putting the ball in his hands if he doesn't have that skill set, if he is only a bucket getter, if he's only something else. He's all of these things, which would explain why their offense was what it was. What Real Talk is trying to sell me, Real Talk is trying to sell me that Steph Curry is the only reason why this is working. This doesn't work if we don't have if we don't have a guy who has the ability to pass. If we don't have a guy who has the ability to read defenses, this thing still works.
Well, chill. I would correct that just a little bit because you're going to give him an out.
There's no one to get two on the ball. It just doesn't work.
Going to continue.
Y'all getting stuck on a one word. It's one word. It's one word.
Wait, no, it's not just one word because I want
keep going. Keep going. Real talk. Keep going. Real talk.
Nobody said it works without Draymond. Nobody said Draymond's decision making isn't valuable. Nobody said Draymond as a passer isn't very good. Nobody is saying none of these things. I'm saying he's not a great playmaker.
No, you said he's not an advantage creator to start.
That's what you said.
To start, you said that.
He's not.
Yes, he is.
No, but we just went through how he is.
Playmaking is.
No, you just said a whole bunch of shit. He's still not.
Okay, Ox, you don't know ball, brother. I don't know what to tell you. Brad Miller was an advantage creator for the Kings. Now what? He was. He absolutely was.
And he was so much better on offense than Draymond Green. So what are you saying?
Yo, my
what
thing
are you
is,
talking about?
whether he's an advantage creator, whether he does any of that, Draymond's still better than Kenyon Martin, and he's still better than I would probably say 2/3 of the people on that list that Kenyon Martin put out.
Maybe about 7 of them. Maybe about 7 of them.
He better than about 2, at least half the list.
Shout out to
my thing is just because you advantage create better than somebody doesn't mean you're a better basketball player. Because a lot of the times, all those advantages you're creating don't lead to wins. They don't lead to making your team better.
Wait, real quick, because you said.
I got a question for you. Just got a question for you, but go ahead.
You said Drew Gooden. Damn.
No, I was gonna say something because you brought up something. I kind of want to talk about. I kind of want to talk a little basketball right now. You said something a second ago, Chill. And
what have we been doing?
What have you been doing?
Filler.
Anyways, you guys have been on mean propaganda run, and I want to talk a little bit, right?
I'm just saying, on top numbers.
On top of that, y'all have been doing nothing but just twisting me and Real Talk's words around. But anyways, I want to talk a little ball. I want to talk a little hoop, if that's okay with y'all.
Okay, let's talk some
you said something about DHOs, Chill, and that made me remember something that Matty Ice said in the PCL. Yeah. Mars, when are people going to understand that a dribble handoff isn't just like some? What's wrong with dribble handoffs, y'all? Do y'all not understand that when a dribble handoff can create mismatches, can create opportunities? What's up?
Almost like they create advantages. Screens. But I think DHOs.
You said he does it.
Valuable. Well,
No, this isn't necessarily about Draymond Green.
Yeah,
This is just about anybody
I
in
think
general.
DHOs are valuable. I think the issue, I'll speak for myself. The issue I have, not with DHOs, but more so once again, box score stats, is just looking at points, rebounds, assists. Someone who's doing a lot of dribble handoffs might end the game with 8, 9, 10 assists. And then someone else who's, I don't want to say more of a playmaker, only has 7 or 8 assists. And it's because watching how, and then you watch the film of these assists, and it's like, okay, you set a dribble handoff for someone, they come off, they probe, take a step back in the mid-range, and then shoot, and you get an assist. And it's like, well, you didn't do anything. Like, respectfully, you set the screen, but this guy still had to create his own shot, but you get given an assist for it. That's my issue with DHOs, but it's more so just with how assists are tracked and calculated, not with the dribble handoff itself.
Mark,
DHOs have their value. If you're able to create a separation for your teammate and they're able to get downhill, or the fact that you're bringing the big up to you because you're now basically turning it into a pick and roll, which allows the paint to be freed up because of the DHO threat, and then you can find cutters. All of that stuff is valuable. But when I'm watching someone set a DHO and then the guy then comes off the DHO, then rejects it, goes the other way, shoots a step back 3, and that's an assist, I'm like,
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
well, obviously,
Now,
no.
Miles, may I counter that really quickly? Because to your point, when you're talking about a DHO, if Draymond's coming off, if Steph Curry's coming off a DHO with Draymond hits, I don't know, let's say DeMar DeRozan is covering him. This is in 2015 or 2016.
Cool,
DeMar
yeah,
DeRozan
okay.
is covering. So DeMar DeRozan is covering him. So now he comes off that screen. Now Steph Curry gets downhill. With Steph Curry getting downhill, now the defense collapses. It collapses now where, I don't know who's that. Iguodala is in the corner. He kicks it to Iguodala, who the defense shifts to Iguodala, who now kicks it to Klay Thompson, who's wide open at the break. That was created with Draymond setting that screen. That's advantage creating right there.
If you want to go that way, then I would say, well, if Steph couldn't shoot, they would go under the screen and there's no advantage. So it's like,
Can we
That's
stop
why we're setting the
acting
screen,
like
though.
we're outraged?
That's why we're setting the screen to get him open.
yeah, but like if Amen Thompson's coming off that DHO, you just go under and all of a sudden the advantage is
Oh
gone.
my
So it's like
God.
it, but this is where I disagree with. I just think both of them are contributing. I just think now if you
Yeah.
want to put a percentage on it, yeah, it's like 89% Steph.
Yeah, it's
But-
like 90.
But I do think
98% Steph.
that's fine. That's why I said I don't really care to do a percentage. But if you want to, like,
Right,
yeah, it's
okay.
majority Steph. But yeah, Draymond being as good of a screen setter as he was, and the fact that most of them were illegal when he got away with it, definitely did open up Steph more than a bad screener would. So yes, Draymond is absolutely helping Steph. I think I've spoke about it before. Steph's scoring efficiency is very different with and without Draymond Green. I think there's a reason
Way
for that
different.
because Draymond Green is the best screen setter he's ever played with. Like there's a synergy between those two that make it a relationship that is beneficial to both
Respect
of them.
Kevon Looney.
I do.
Not like Draymond.
Cool.
But
Yeah,
I do
but
respect
cool.
him.
So I think
Yeah, Boogie Cousins
yeah,
too. for 1 year.
Draymond is helping in the sense that if he wasn't a good screener, you would be able to fight over the top. And the big reason why Steph gets blitzed as much, in my opinion, is A, his shooting threat, but B, the fact that Draymond's always hitting Steph's defender. Always. So you have to put 2 on the ball because the moment you're a step behind on Steph, he can shoot the ball. So Steph's gravity, once again, because he's so dangerous as a shooter, the slightest advantage means you have to overreact. But Draymond hitting Steph's defender as much as he did is a reason why you had to play up as high as you did. Because if it was a bad screener, you could just get over the top. In theory.
Which
Yeah, I think they're both contributing. So I don't agree that Draymond doesn't create advantages or barely does. But I
Which
also
bugs me out.
don't agree that playing on a 4-on-3 is Draymond creating advantages. No, he's playing off the advantage at that point.
Which
But the
bugs me
screens
out
are
too,
not.
Mars, because to your point, like you dudes act like not just real talk, but Ox. You dudes are actually scoffing at screens when we live in a very pick and roll heavy league. Very pick and roll heavy league. And screens are extremely important. Like, in fact, these plays don't work if you're not hitting people. Screens 100%. Like, guys aren't just, Steph Curry is not just running around here, just running the baseline or running off, or not even a curl, but just running a curl action and not getting screened. He has to have somebody open him. He has to have somebody set a screen to get him open. Screens are extremely important. And Draymond Green is huge in that.
I'm not scoffing at screens. I'm not. I'm scoffing at you for telling
You
me
said
that
earlier
Draymond setting the screen is
talking about screens.
because you're
That-
telling
that
me that
was what you
Draymond
said
setting the
earlier
screen
today.
is
We talked about
crazy
screens.
advantage creating.
Yeah,
That's what
but
I'm
it's like
scoffing
this-
at.
But
I'm
this may
scoffing
be
at
like, it
this
only
dude
really
above me
applies
for trying to make it
Draymond.
seem like,
no
oh,
one's
he's
ever
such an
been like
amazing screen
Steven
set.
Adams is a play.
I didn't even hear you. I'm glad I didn't.
That's what I'm- that's
No
what I'm
one's ever
saying,
said that.
bro.
No
This
one's
shit
going
crazy.
back and watching the 90s
Wait. Say it again.
Pacers.
Say it again.
No one's going back and watching Reggie Miller's Pacers and it's like, hey, Del Davis playmaking with these screens for Reggie. Like, no one's ever said that.
No, but wait, hold on. But
These are
wait,
really
hold on.
screen.
No,
No
wait.
one's ever
Time
said
out.
that. They're not gonna
But
be like,
time out.
"Please,
Time
they're
out.
not screen."
Time out.
No,
But-
Mark Jackson is actually passing the ball. to
Mars,
Reggie.
let me. Can I?
Del Davis is the
But
real playmaker.
that's
No one's
fine.
ever
But
said
Mars, the thing
That's
sometimes
all.
you.
That's
the
all
thing
I'm
that-
scoffing at. That's it.
The thing sometimes you'll do is you'll have very open discussions about certain things, and I think for you've always tried to build this narrative that you want to talk about the basketball and not the narrative. I'm saying that is part of the narrative. The basketball here is the question that you asked. Matter of fact, I saw you get engaged with on Twitter about Real Talk when somebody responded to Real Talk about what he said about something and about why players shouldn't be considered in the same archetype or talked about the same way relative to what their role is and relative to how good they are outside of that role. You then responded to someone underneath that. And I didn't get involved because I don't want to get involved in that conversation because it's and you know what I'm talking about, Mars. You know exactly the conversation I'm talking about. So what I'm saying is when you want to consider nuance, you will. But I think
you're gonna hear me 3 minutes.
no,
ago?
I did. But I think you saying no one said Del Davis was a playmaker. I'm saying Mars. Now the question should shift now to should we consider? No, that's not what I'm asking. Should we consider Mars screen setting, given how important it is for guards, especially, unless you're SG freaking A, and you don't need a screen, and you just can pull up on anybody or drive by anybody or boom, boom, tween, and then shoot a fadeaway over somebody. Most guards need screens. So Mars, how should we change the conversation about advantage creation to include things like screening because of what it does? That's what I'm asking.
You have got to be shitting me.
No, I just think this is a basketball show. It's that simple. It's a basketball question. Answer the question. Answer the question.
I think screening is what it is. It's screening. I don't think like we need to put everything into the singular box of okay, this is defense, this is playmaking, this is scoring. Let's fit everything.
But what is screening?
Into those
Screening is just it's separate from advantage creation.
Screening, yes, screening is screening. Like I agree. I think screening does create advantages, but that doesn't mean I need to call it playmaking. Like some things
I didn't say that. I just said advantage creation. You just said it creates an advantage.
I said that like 4 minutes ago. That yes, Draymond is
sure. Okay.
So yeah, right. I think Steven Adams creates advantages for his teammates. I think there's a reason
that dumb Gortat screen that he gets away with all the time. That's illegal, by the way. Yeah. That
I think Ja Morant. There's a reason why he was more efficient with Steven Adams than without him.
The screening Ox does every time Kawhi gets slandered, like he needs to get slandered for this weekend. Yeah, that's kind of stuff. That's screening.
There's a reason why Jalen Green was more efficient with Steven Adams than without him. If you have someone who sets really, really good screens, that opens up your perimeter players. I absolutely agree with that. I think everyone agrees with that. I think Ox agrees with that. I think Cho agrees with that. I think Real Talk agrees with that.
Ox doesn't agree with that.
No, Ox agrees that good screens free up people, which make their lives easier, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Obviously, because it's basketball. But that doesn't mean we need to group it into Draymond's a playmaker because screens. Like
I didn't say that. But by the way, who up here said that? Who up here said that?
That's where the conversation started.
But who on this show said that though? I didn't.
Who brought up the screens when we were just talking?
So is Karl Malone the GOAT?
What? Yeah, he is of some things, not basketball, but respect.
Of screening.
Well, I'm saying because he
used to go to Fender. Yeah, you're right. Get
all the scoring he did, and then all the screens he said. I'm wondering, is he the GOAT?
He's one of the best screen setters ever. Yeah, but like, sure.
Well, I mean, if screens are this much of a
John Stockton doesn't work without him. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, well, Karl Malone's the GOAT.
Well, yeah, I'm not as high on John Stockton's playmaking, but that's a whole different conversation. But like, yeah, I just think it is what it is. Like screen setting is screen setting, and yes, it creates advantages. But the conversation started because Real Talk said Draymond Green isn't a playmaker, and then someone I actually can't remember who brought up screens. I can't remember who it was. Someone brought up screens, and then it was chill, and then we got here. No one disagrees that screens create advantages, but that doesn't mean we have to categorize it as playmaking.
The reason why we brought up
not
because Real Talk said, quote, screen said, I mean, Draymond does not create advantages. That's what he said.
He did say
he did that, and that's what I responded to. No, Mars, you were too busy trying to play both sides of the fence like a Republican Democrat.
I said, is it possible that multiple people can be responsible for
Mars had a blue red tie on right down the middle, trying to stay in the gap.
Swipe, we actually need more of those.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
I literally asked the question: is it possible for multiple people to be?
You think people should have to buy water? It shouldn't be free.